Hey again. Oh, what? That old thing? Oh, you mean the classic film for the PSP Vita? Click? The one where you control your life with a TV remote? Who can forget? Let me read the synopsis for you. Hey gang, sorry about that. If you didn't even see the movie, you're not gonna get that joke, and I'm sorry. We're gonna be talking about transphobe today, and the little twist, they're also trans. So just internalized transphobia, which is self-explanatory. Like, you have a hatred towards your own self, but most of the time it's because of social conditioning and the norms, like, against trans people and the fact that they're a marginalized community. This one's gonna suck a lot. Just imagine like a Candace Owens, but for gender. Their name is a slur, so that's a great start. Their actual name is Marcus Dibb, so let's just hop into it. I don't want to waste any more time.
What are the signs that you might be non-binary? Let's hear from Lynn and find out.
So the first sign that you might be non-binary is that you aren't comfortable with he, him, or she, her pronouns. I've never had that real connection with womanhood, and being called she, her was always kind of an apathetic experience for me. I was like, oh, I don't feel comfortable with he, him pronouns. I guess she, her pronouns are the best that's ever gonna get. That's what I dealt with for the first 18, 19 years of my life. And then when I found out that they, them was an option, at first I was like, oh, that's weird because, you know, internalized MD phobia.
Some women don't relate to ultra femininity, but it doesn't make them any less of a woman.
Hey, it's almost like they didn't say that. Oh, we're gonna start this off again? Another Cheeto. Jesus Christ. I love lying right after you show the clip.
On the other hand, trans men, they have a neurological reason not connecting to womanhood, and they have to live life as the opposite sex in order to be happy. So when I look at non-binary females like her, I wonder how they're uncomfortable with being women because they don't transition at all.
Yeah, of course they don't transition at all, because some people aren't like that. Some people want to transition, and then some people are okay with not transitioning. Like, you shouldn't have to change yourself for other people to be comfortable. I put this under, like, the transphobia because obviously non-binary is an umbrella term of trans, but not all non-binary people identify with that. So it's kind of dumb to, like, even make that point. But go on, Marcus, go on.
Yeah, I did use all pronouns at one point, and there are certain situations and days and dysphoria levels where I am comfortable being called he, him, or she, her, but for the most part, they, them is just my standard because it's what I'm most comfortable with.
Dysphoria levels? Dysphoria levels apparently determines what pronouns you're most comfortable with, and it changes by the day?
It doesn't change by the day. Gender can be fluid. I'm not sure if you knew that. I'm not sure. And also, yes, dysphoria levels. There are levels to dysphoria. Some people don't have it as intense as other people. It's really not that hard to understand. Go to school. I love being so, like, condescending and, like, so confident, but being so wrong. Just so very, very wrong.
The second sign is that you overanalyze your body to all hell. Now, I know this is not something that is specifically just for non-binary people. I know that there are people with body dysmorphia that do this as well. So I would also look into that if you have those kind of issues. But for me, I know that when I was younger and looking in the mirror, I could not see myself. As soon as I started going through puberty and getting a chest and getting hips and looking just more feminine in my body, I would spend hours a day looking in the mirror, trying to figure out what was wrong and trying to fix how my body looked and trying to make myself look more neutral. I was trying to find myself in my reflection.
Let me ask you this, how do you know that you don't have body dysmorphia?
Dumb question, because it's about gender, not their body. Because they're questioning what their perception of themselves are, not like a physical blemish or whatever. It's pretty self-explanatory. Do I have to walk you through everything?
No matter what it is, it sounds horrible and it's heartbreaking. I mean that truly. However, it concerns me that someone would ever have the desire to make their bodies gender neutral.
Anyone catch that? He said gender neutral. Hey, what's up with these? What's up with the air quotes? The bunny hops? Do you not think gender neutral is a thing? I love how conservatives just don't believe in like anything. What the fuck? Gender neutral is a thing. Do I need to explain that to you? You said gender neutral. Motherfucker, what?
When I hear non-binary females describing their experience as running away from womanhood or making my body gender neutral, I don't hear signs of gender dysphoria, and I don't believe that non-binary is a thing because of that.
Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, non-binary is not a thing. Okay. Just deny, like, other cultures. Hey, motherfucker, look up Two-Spirit for me. Look up Two-Spirit. Look up Two-Spirit, okay? You're just gonna deny a whole culture, be like, well, it doesn't exist. They made it up. I don't care. I didn't see it, so it's not real.
I interpret the pain as something like body image issues or also internalized sexism and homophobia.
Huh?
That is actually a thing.
Oh, yeah, because I, oh my god. Oh. You don't even believe internalized sexism or homophobia, dude? Of course you don't. Of fucking course you don't. You're right. You're right. But also,
Yes, that is actually a thing. I think just like gender dysphoria is a neurological condition.
You don't need to have gender dysphoria to be non-binary. You don't need to have gender dysphoria to be non-binary. Brains on this guy.
It's not controllable. I feel like only some non-binary individuals, they do have another disorder such as an eating disorder, body dysmorphia, or they suffer from a sexual trauma.
Hey, what are you saying right now? None of those connected. None of those. What the fuck? I don't get you. It's not gender dysphoria. It's eating. It's an eating disorder, actually. Where's the correlation, motherfucker? Also, sexual trauma. You thought I was gonna breeze past sexual what? You could tell what this person is by like one video. You're right, man.
There's nothing wrong with dealing with any of those things, and they deserve to get that form of help, because I, of all people, know what it's like to not feel comfortable with my body, with myself, and no matter what political environment you're in, you deserve to have the feeling of internal peace. I don't think, however, that identifying with made-up genders and being sucked in this whole universe that doesn't reflect reality would help anyone.
It's made up. It's made up. Okay, but it does reflect reality. And also, how does it hurt anyone? It doesn't hurt anyone.
My mental health started to improve when I started to acknowledge and started to live in reality.
I wonder who told you that reality. By the way, this person is friends with Blair White, and this person is friends with Buck Angel, and what is her name? Ariel Scarcelli, or whatever the fuck. All horrible people.
And I'm not gonna lie, it was hard. It's tough sometimes to face reality, but it's totally worth it, honestly. Because it helps me move on with my life without making me being trans my whole identity.
Motherfucker, your name is a slur. Your name is a trans slur right now. But it's not your whole identity, right? Yeah, you're right, man. Your whole identity is being transphobic. Like, your channel is literally just transphobic as fuck. All of your content is the exact same shit. Holy find something new. Do something. Do something.
Honestly, it's one of the biggest signs that I should have known that I wasn't cis, because I would stand there and try to like flatten my chest, get rid of my hips, make myself look as neutral as possible, because I didn't want to be perceived as a woman. I didn't want anyone to see me that way. I just wanted people to see me, and that was all. So that might be a sign that you are non-binary.
There it is. I didn't want to be perceived as a woman. Unless you have gender dysphoria, what's wrong with being perceived as a woman?
I love lying after you show the clip. Good job, Marcus.
And let me guess, it's uncomfortable to be perceived as a woman because you feel a lot of pressure to be a woman or to be feminine.
You feel a lot of pressure to be a woman and be feminine? By who? You know, like, if you make accusations like this, you usually have to, like, back it up with, like, the source. Not trying to be a debate pervert, but source? Where's the source? I don't see a source here. My viewer retention went way down after that clip.
Because I've heard that from a lot of detransitioners, female detransitioners.
Detransitioner grift. Detransitioner grift. Oh, and yeah, transitioner grift.
There is a hierarchy in the non-binary and trans community where if you're white, cis, and female or male, you're kind of at the bottom.
Yeah, man. White, straight, cis males. They're so oppressed, man. You're so right. You want to talk more about it? You want a medal? You want a cookie?
The third sign is that you feel like your assigned gender at birth is playing dress up. I remember specifically when I was like 17 or 18, when prom season would show up, I would go into the mall and just dress up in prom dresses to like somehow feel like I connected to womanhood. And I was like, yeah, this is something women do. Sometimes it really would make me feel better, and I'd be like, oh, this feels right. And then other times it would just make me feel so bad about myself, because when I would look in the mirror and see a dress on me, I would be like, this feels like dress up. This feels incorrect. This doesn't feel right. Honestly, I feel like a lot of my teenagehood was that way. I don't think I was ever a super feminine person, but I definitely did play up femininity a whole lot more than I do now. And there are days when I don't mind dressing femininely, but it's more in a neutral person kind of way than someone trying to fit themselves into womanhood and failing miserably.
You literally just admitted that wearing a dress is a big part of womanhood.
This person has no brain cells. I'm gonna spaz. I'm gonna spaz. Spetnaz. Spaz. Shotgun. Blah. No, you fucking idiot. They're saying that's how society views women. And also, that's fucking rich coming from you when you just said you can't be trans unless you actually transition. Which is saying you're not a woman until you look like a woman. So you're the one saying that, really. You said that earlier. You implied that earlier. They didn't imply that. They're just explaining how society views femininity and women. Society views femininity as like, oh, women wear a dress, man. Dude, it's fucking gender roles. They're talking about gender roles.
How progressive and woke.
Dude, if I hear one more motherfucker say woke, I'm gonna lose my mind. I'm gonna.
The way you express yourself in your gender, that's fluid. Gender itself, on the other hand, not fluid.
Holy contradiction, Batman. Your gender and the way you express it is fluid. But gender in itself isn't fluid. It's almost like you're mixing two things up that conservatives love to mix up for their argument and the foundation of it, but they're actually very different. I love having to make the same points.
If you think that not wanting to wear a dress, but only sometimes, is failing womanhood, you're implying that there's only one way to be a woman.
No, because that's not what they implied. They're explaining gender roles to you. You know the social construct, gender. The thing that you don't think is a social construct, you think it's like biology, even though you're thinking of sex. Very smart person.
And don't you guys find it weird to listen to someone that age talk about how if a woman is not feminine, she's not a woman anymore?
Hey, who's saying that? Man, that's a big straw man. Can I get a sip? Tastes like bullshit.
And how on earth can I be called close-minded for not wanting to create a gender for each time someone doesn't fit into gender stereotypes created in the 1920s? It's a crazy world we live in.
Dude, I hate how condescending this fuck is. Why does he pucker his lips every fucking time he finishes a sentence? He has the most punchable face. I swear to Allah. Gender is how you perceive yourself internally, like how you perceive yourself. And no, you can't, before anyone fucking brain dead in my goddamn comments go and say, attack helicopter. Yeah, man. Famous gender. Attack helicopter. Famous gender, man. You're so right. You're not dumb at all. And you are close-minded because you think trans people aren't trans unless they transition, which wouldn't make sense, because then are they just cis before they medically transition? Because that doesn't make sense logically. What happened to your fucking guy, Ben? What happened to Ben Shapiro saying facts over feelings? Facts don't care about your feelings, huh? Looks like you're not going by his rule right now.
Funny enough, I would never describe my experience as a trans guy as I failed womanhood. I never felt like I did a bad job or I failed at something. I just couldn't live the life that I was supposed to live. This makes it so clear to me, and I also guess you all, that what non-binary people claim to go through and what I as a transsexual go through, it's just not the same in any way. There could be many reasons why you're not comfortable with yourself. It's not a non-binary thing. It's a human feeling to have.
Okay, and a human thing is also being non-binary. That's very human. There's multiple cultures that have that ingrained into their, like, society. So, like, it's just kind of dumb to be like, well, it doesn't exist because I don't think it does. Because it hurts my little fifis.
The fourth sign that you might be non-binary is you just want to be seen as you. In the religion that I grew up in, gender is a really big thing. It's very much man is man, woman is woman. So when you're younger, they split you off into young men's or young women's. And I just remember being taught about all these woman roles that I would eventually have to go into and how uncomfortable that made me. Whenever anyone was like, oh, you're turning into such a beautiful young woman or blah, blah, blah. Or even if you asked me about myself, I would always just describe, when I grow up, I want to be me. That's all I would say. Like, I just want to be myself. I never really was like, oh yeah, I want to be a woman. That's something that I want to do. It just was something that I thought was innate, and that everyone was like, oh, I just want to be myself. I don't want to be seen as this feminine goddessy thing.
I get it. It's a natural reaction when you've had this experience. I just don't think it has anything to do with gender.
I have to go back. Motherfucker just said the stupidest shit ever. What the fuck?
I just don't think it has anything to do with gender.
Gender roles don't have anything to do with gender, huh? You're proving to me that you're, like, not the sharpest tool in the shed, and you have the shape of an L on your forehead.
The way that I analyze it is that you grew up with a lot of strict rules, and when you got older, you want to be a rebel and you wanted to break free.
You want it to be different, which is just another way of saying you did this for attention, which is also, you know, not only a transphobic talking point by conservatives, but a homophobic one. It's like they're recycling the same points. Oh, wait.
God knows I want
my
to
ears,
break.
they bleed.
It's describing gender as something that could be socialized, basically, and it's so ignorant.
Like, I know conservatives think gender and sex are the same thing, but motherfucker, you just said gender is not socialized? Motherfucker, it's a social construct. Social! Like, I think it's just because, like, conservatives, they hate socialism, so they're like, anything that has the word social in it, get the fuck out.
If gender or sexuality, or both, is a social construct, then conversion therapy would actually work.
You all right?
Dude, I'm still processing from the last dumb take you had. What the fuck? Gender, sexuality, two different things. Also, what the fuck does that have to do with conversion therapy? Conversion therapy is abuse, by the way, because it's set on the foundation that, one, it's a choice, and two, that you can turn someone gay or whatever the fuck, or trans, or it's not true when it's very stupid. It doesn't make sense, actually.
Sleep on that one.
Oh my god, stop being so condescending, you little fucking chicken little. Go rant about the sky falling or some shit, dude. Fucking no one cares. Help me.
Oh, and by the way, the pronouns thing, it's definitely politically motivated.
What does that even mean? You have a pronoun. You have a pronoun. What the fuck? Everyone has pronouns. Yeah, it's politically motivated. What do you think of this? What do you think of him?
He's a dupo.
Thank you for your,
Hi, Dickums.
Dude, that's my government name. You can't say that.
And not anything else but that, so that explains it.
And the fifth and final sign that you might be non-binary is this video. Questioning whether or not you're non-binary is a really good sign that you might be non-binary.
Motherfucker just said, let me see you here with my most condescending face ever. But, fucking god, okay, whatever. We're just gonna gloss over that. So we got that out of the way. Number one, Marcus doesn't believe non-binary people exist. Now that that's done, let's get to the second. Hey, yo!
Shed
children can't consent to puberty blockers is a completely arbitrary statement without any ethical backing.
I think the issue I have with people is they forget that children have agency and choice and just have as much of a personality and a soul that anyone will.
Being trans isn't a personality trait. The last time I checked.
Dude, do you have ears? Are you listening to the same video? Are you watching the same video? What, like, are you okay?
So not only do you need to start believing children, you need to start believing trans children when they tell you they need trans-affirming healthcare.
Oh, so many things. We shouldn't always listen to children. It's not like we listen to non-trans kids more than trans kids.
Do I really need to say anything for that one? You do. Or, you know, more people would come out as trans. It's really not that hard to understand that.
No child is a transsexual.
Also, why do you just say transgender? You're trying to say transsexual so you can mix up your audience and be like, well, if I say transsexual, they're gonna think it's the same as sex and not gender. Now, Marcus, you're thinking with whatever's in your head.
A transsexual person describes an adult with the medical condition gender dysphoria, chronic gender dysphoria, not symptoms of it or signs of it.
That's a common misconception, that transgender just means gender dysphoria. No, not necessarily. You know, you would think as the trans man, you would know, but you're doing this because you're a conservative, and conservatives have really dumb fucking beliefs, and I'm just gonna let you know this now. They're not gonna like you. They don't like Candace Owens, so why would they like you, man? If they like her in the way, they'd be like, oh yeah, she's one of the good ones. I could listen to her. She's black. How she be racist? She's black. You know, she didn't say like, you know, Hitler just wanted to make Germany great again. That's a quote that she said, by the way. Go ahead and try to defend that, fucking idiot.
The children may experience.
You said the children may experience. That means there are children that do experience that. Kind of contradicts your point saying there's no transgender children, which is just stupid. Yes, there is. Just like there's gay children, there's transgender children. I don't know what to tell you.
We shouldn't listen to children when they say, I want candy for dinner every single night. Or I want to stay up every night and play video games. And we should definitely not blindly affirm children when they say, I'm trapped in the wrong body.
I love how conservatives have no fucking object permanence. Things are different from other things. Staying up and wanting to play video games is different than saying, hey, I think I'm transgender, or hey, I think I'm non-binary. What the fuck do you get that correlation from, you Nimrod? I think I haven't heard that insult in like a while. Probably in like Old Yeller. I don't even know if that was in Old Yeller. I didn't watch that movie. A fucking dog dies. Spoilers.
Mostly because it's a lie, and we can't lie to children. That's extremely unethical.
It's a lie? Hey, tell me one thing. What's the benefit? What would be the benefit of lying about your gender? There's literally no benefit to that.
I am so tired of hearing trans-affirming healthcare, gender-affirming healthcare. That's not a real thing.
Do you just not believe in anything? You know, the moon's not real. Earth is flat, actually. Sphere? That's not a real thing. You're just saying, like, this stupidest shit. Gender-affirming healthcare isn't a real thing? Huh? Your arguments are so brain that I don't even have to, like, try, dude. This is, like, the most, like, lax I've been during a fucking video. You're not making any sense, and I'm, like, easily picking this apart without trying.
If it is something you could call gender-denying healthcare, me being a biological woman living my life as a man, I'm denying my gender, my biological sex. I mean, we can talk about it's not an inherent negative thing to deny your gender and your biological sex. I just think it's unethical to teach children that you can be trapped in the wrong body.
Motherfucker. That is rich. Coming from a trans man! Trans people feel trapped in the wrong body all the time. It was so strange because in the first video, you're like, well, they're not trans unless they actually medically transition. You want to prohibit them even doing that. You don't want them to medically transition. So what do you want? The real answer is just no trans people. You don't want trans people. And that's crazy. Because you'd be like, well, he's trans. How does he not want trans people? Motherfucker, Candace Owens. This is Candace Owens for gender.
As I said before, it's pseudo-religious.
And out of all the trans-affirming healthcare, at least that would have saved my life and saved me from a lot of trouble when I was a child.
Also, if you're gonna have a split screen, dude, you know, with like a reaction cam, you gotta like react, you know? You're fucking hitting the Detroit Become Human way too hard right now.
Good evening.
That's easy for you to say now. I'm not bullying this person. I'm saying this to state the obvious. Just because you have a very, very deep voice doesn't mean that you should put puberty blockers into other children. I mean, it must suck if you're a real trans woman and you have such a deep voice.
What does that have to do with them having a deep voice? If you're a real trans woman, which is implying that there's fake trans women, again, that would imply that there's a benefit to lie about your gender, which there isn't, especially when trans is a marginalized community. So, like, if anything, you're not getting benefits in the society for being trans.
But it should not affect how you look at law in general.
Most of the effects can be reversed.
Nope, it's not reversible.
I love just not being on the side of science. Go on Google, Yahoo, Bing, I don't fucking care, dude. All of them say that they can be reversible. You're such a liar.
If a little boy starts on puberty blockers, his penis will not grow. He'll get a micro penis.
Why are you talking about little kids' genitals? Pedophile. You're strange, by the way. Again, gender isn't your fucking genitals. You're thinking of sex. Again. You know what conservatives want? They want a person who is like a gender inspector. A real thing that they want to be a profession, which totally doesn't open up job opportunities for pedophiles to inspect children. Stop talking about children. It's weird.
Let's say he's a real trans woman when he's an adult. His bottom surgery, if he wants that, will be extremely complicated. If he's not a trans woman as an adult, which is most likely when you look at all the statistics, he'll just have a micro penis as a man. And that will not pop out just because he starts on testosterone. You cannot just block the most important part of a child's development.
And that's their penis? This guy's he's on a line, man. What? The most important thing of a child's development is their dick size. How does anyone take you seriously again? How do you have 44,000 subscribers? I mean, I know why. You live in a fucking echo chamber, so like that makes sense. But like, come on, man.
And you don't need to go to med school to understand that.
Because the problem is not about you sitting down and protecting trans children. Because even trans adults find it hard to access and gain trans healthcare.
No, the fake ones, they have a hard time accessing it, and I think that's a good thing. Real transsexuals, they don't have a hard time getting access to the transition. This person is talking about the fake transsexuals, the people without gender dysphoria who are desperate getting a medical transition.
Fake transgenders? Can you like elaborate on what that is? Why they would even like be fake in the first place? Because usually when you make a point, you gotta like make other points to back up that other point, you know? Kind of how like conversations and arguments work and like the human language really, and like the fact that you're this stupid. It's crazy. I need more vocab though. All I can think of is stupid, brain dead, and other shit that's like kind of synonyms. I need something else, but like I use Nimrod. It didn't roll off the tongue as well.
Maybe it's not as easy, which is a really good thing. I'm actually glad to hear that, because I don't think that people deserve to be a victim of medical malpractice.
Fucking yeah, man. You're saying it like they didn't consent to it or they weren't the ones to do that. Also, it's not as easy as 1, 2, 3. You can't just be like, I'm trans now, and then you'd be like, okay, affirm, affirm, affirm. They actually have to go through extensive shit. Like they have to get a counselor, they have to get a therapist, they have to talk through so many people just in order to get to that point, man.
Maybe it's not as easy, which is a really good thing. I'm actually glad to hear that, because I don't think that people deserve to be a victim of medical malpractice, no matter who you are, even if you're an adult.
Yeah, even if you're an adult, but fuck your hopes and dreams of being a basketball player, because I don't think you should be in sports because men are stronger than women. Shut the fuck up.
We all deserve great mental health. And listen, I've said before that I'm a liberal.
No, you're not. Everything you have said has been a conservative talking point, bar for bar, literally stealing their flow.
I believe in personal freedom, personal responsibility. You do you, I do me. Like, leave me alone kind of thing. That's how liberal I am.
You do me, you do you, I do me. But, you know, you're not trans unless you do exactly as I did. But I'm not closed-minded, guys. Pick a lane.
However, I think that doctors have a responsibility to not destroy their patients. just because they're adults and they can do whatever they want.
So, a contradiction. You just said you do you, I do me, but yet you don't even think they should be allowed even when they're the age of consent to do so. Okay. Let's say if a person who makes a wedding cake doesn't want to make a cake for the black person. You're saying they should have that choice. Again, just swap it out for gender. How fucked up would you sound? You would just sound like a racist saying, well, they shouldn't have to serve to black people if they don't want to. It's freedom of speech. Cis people also participate in gender affirming healthcare. It's not an exclusive trans thing, but fucking conservatives are so brain broken that they are so focused on being transphobic that they can't think of any outside factors or anything else other than see trans weird. I don't like that. You're a man.
That's just not how it works.
Meanwhile, cis adults can get all kinds of stupid ass crazy surgeries and, BBLs, even cosmetic surgeries. Because they're adults, they have choice and they have autonomy. The problem is that you don't want us to exist and that you don't want us to be comfortable.
That is true. You don't. You can laugh at that and fake what all you want because you're about to.
What?
See? Called it.
This is not just a nose job, a boob job, or a butt lift. This is about your gender. It's about your fertility.
Gender is not about your fertility. What the fuck? You're just saying what you think gender is, but it's not even close to true. Gender is about your fertility?
Removing breasts of a young woman, even removing the nipples, have you seen that? It is not...
Why do you keep talking about genitals of little kids? It's weird.
The same as a regular woman getting a boob job.
Oh my god, a regular woman. I wonder why people say you're transphobic, dude. Saying regular woman is implying that trans people aren't regular people. And it's frankly disgusting coming from a trans man. Go fuck yourself. Really got the fucking Hogwarts Legacy ad. Get your JK Rowling transphobia out of here.
If you think that's the same, I don't know what to tell you.
Refusing to support your trans child is child abuse.
I agree, but we're not gonna have the same thoughts on why not supporting your gender dysphoric child it's not good. It's not a good look as a parent. And I think it's child abuse to just put hormone blockers, cross-sex hormones, in your child because they show gender non-conforming behavior.
So you think it's child abuse to affirm your kid's gender, but you don't think it's child abuse, you just think it's not good when you don't affirm their gender and you don't give them that. So which is it then? If you think one's abuse and you think one's not good, what would you like them to do then?
I mean, yeah, it's child abuse because it's like medicine you put into your healthy child. That's kind of weird, right?
It doesn't kill them. And usually medicine makes people better. Not sure if you know that. Did you lose brain cells when you transitioned?
You see, trans children need to be given gender-affirming care and see a doctor, a therapist, and see what they can do about the gender dysphoria that they have.
You don't need to go to a gender specialist. A gender-affirming therapist.
Oh my god. Dude, he put quotes over gender specialist. What, is their profession not real? You guys don't believe anything. What world are you living on? Venus?
A gender-affirming specialist is just as valid as someone who specializes in conversion therapy. It's both fake therapists who are intolerant as hell, driven by radical ideology. I said what I said.
Oh, dude, I said what I said. Shut your fucking pussy ass up. Golly. It's the same because they're fake doctors. Motherfucker, how did you transition? You talked to a gender specialist. You talked to one. But they're fake now? Also, only one of them is on a radical ideology. And it's the conversion therapy. That was specifically made by conservatives. Because it's on the foundation that you could turn someone gay, or that it's a choice to be gay, or a choice to be trans.
Which gender dysphoria is a very difficult thing to deal with. It can make someone feel absolutely awful about themselves. I'm lucky enough to not experience it, but a lot of other people do have to, and dealing with that can be absolutely crippling.
Dealing with what? What is it? What is gender dysphoria?
Matt Walsh, bro. Jesus fuck. Just go fuck Matt Walsh already, dude. Jesus Christ. What is a woman? What is a woman? Someone who identifies as a woman. Suck my ass. Get on. Fuck you. You don't feel as though your gender matches your sex. And that's like a very, very bare bones of it. Like, you just don't feel like your gender matches your sex, and it's not right. He's saying you need to have gender dysphoria, but gender dysphoria in itself, the definition of gender dysphoria fucking debunks your entire argument, because all your arguments are on the foundation that sex and gender are the same shit, when gender dysphoria specifically separates the two in the definition.
And if you aren't getting any kind of care for your child to help deal with these emotions, then those emotions can lead to higher rates of them unaliving themselves.
Yeah, that has been debunked.
Yeah, that was like, that was debunked, actually. Buddy, really? Was it debunked? Really? Is it? Like, it's pretty simple to say that trans people, if they're not seen as trans or seen as themselves, basically, yeah, they would probably unalive themselves. There's statistics backing that. A lot, actually.
And I do not believe it is as simple as that. Affirming a child as the opposite sex, or they're gonna unalive themselves. It is emotional blackmail. But I of course believe that if a child thinks that they're trapped in the wrong body, they should receive help. But receiving help can mean many things.
Yeah, you want them to go to fucking conversion therapy as a trans man.
In most cases, we should make them feel comfortable in their own skin. You can call that conversion therapy. It's not. It's basic parenting. To not affirm, yes, you're awful. You should feel awful about yourself and your gender. No, it's basic parenting to say, what's wrong, honey? Why do you have those feelings?
Basic parenting is conversion therapy. Okay. Like, you're just like a gross human being.
Like, almost 50% of trans people have attempted to unalive themselves, and an overwhelming majority have at least thought about it. But you see, if you get your child gender-affirming care, first of all, there is a 60% decrease in the likelihood of them developing severe depression if they are able to get gender-affirming care. And there is a 73% decrease in wanting to unalive themselves who have gotten that kind of care.
When a person looks like this, again, I'm not bullying this person, I'm just stating the obvious. I don't trust whatever statistics you come up with.
What a fucking argument. What an intellectual. I don't trust what you're saying because you look like that and you got red hair. Red hair feminist. Blue hair? Nope. Red. You have stats staring you right in your fucking 4 eyes right now, and you're just gonna say, well, I don't believe you because you look like that.
You've been destroyed by facts and logic in the marketplace of ideas. Take that, Karen.
Also, I'm not bullying. That is bullying. You can't just say I'm not bullying and then bully. You gotta, like, have some sort of moral barometer, man. Like, it's like way over here.
That's one thing. The second thing, I could imagine that for a while you would feel some form of euphoria after getting affirmed, after being affirmed. When we listen to detransitioners' stories, they have that same experience where they feel good after being affirmed, getting all these procedures done and stuff like that, but then they feel awful and they realize it was a mistake.
Like, I don't have a problem with detransitioners. If it's not for you, it's not for you. What I have a problem with is detransitioners that grift and say, since it didn't work out for me, I don't think any child should transition. And notice that all of these detransitioners are right-wingers.
I think that's very normal, that in the beginning it feels good. Like, you're sitting there and like, affirm me, affirm me, affirm me. Someone is, and then you feel good. But that doesn't mean that it's the right thing to blindly affirm someone's gender identity.
They have to go through such extensive care to, like, even get close to, like, medically transitioning. And most of the time, when people are talking about gender-affirming healthcare, it's not always medical. They just hear the word healthcare, and they think it's always giving your child hormones, which no one is doing, really. And even if they were, who gives a fuck? They're reversible. Like, it's not always medical. There is a thing called socially transitioning. You know, like you wear more boy clothes or you wear more girl clothes, whatever the society deems as boys and girls clothes. I said girls. Boys and girls. It's just not hard to understand. It would only be difficult if you were stupid. So I understand why he's having a hard time.
You see, by you refusing to get your child the care that they need, you are neglecting them medically and emotionally.
What do you mean medically? We're talking about healthy children. What's the matter with you? It's not neglecting someone medically if they don't need the medicine.
Okay, but that's to you. You're saying you don't need the medicine to kids you don't even know. You're just saying you shouldn't believe the kid no matter what in any circumstance.
What I think is neglecting is to affirm what your child is saying, which under any other circumstances you wouldn't.
Oh, wow, I was joking about that. But yeah, any other circumstance you wouldn't? So let's say conservative father, right? Just a kid comes out, he says, hey, I think I'm gay. And the dad just says, no, that's what you're doing.
And you can't accept that your child is gender non-conforming or just gay.
Gender non-conforming or just gay. Where did I hear that argument before? They're just confused. They're just confused gay people. Trans people are just confused gay people.
And even if they weren't that likely to unalive themselves, it's still awful to expect them to be miserable for their entire childhood because they feel like they're in the wrong body. And if you are not going to support your child through this journey, then you shouldn't have become a parent at all.
Oh, you tell them, girl.
Cringe.
I don't think most parents, they want to see their kids miserable. Saying to your child, honey, you can't be trapped in the wrong body.
Honey, you can't be trapped in the wrong body. You are trans man. I don't know if I can do the third video. I've already been recording for an hour. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I can, maybe I can't. We'll see in the next couple seconds. Nope, I can't handle this.
Hey, yo!
Yeah, so apparently I couldn't handle it because my camera couldn't either. It actually stopped recording after a while, but it still recorded my audio, so guessing we're just gonna have to leave it at that. But on that note, thank you for coming to my little corner of the internet, and I hope to see you next time. Turn notifications on if you want to see more. Like, subscribe, all that fun jazz, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Catch ya.
No objections, no, I got the best man. Shit has sent me so many times without it, I'm less than. Gotta save it ahead of time when you want your last stand. You are all out of moves, not you on your